Well, guys, the world has come undone since the last time we were on 3rd and 3. We will get in there and discuss all of the big news surrounding LSU with Coach O and what happened up at Rocky Top last Saturday night. We will get all of that plus an awesome interview on this edition of 3rd and 3. Welcome inside another exciting edition of 3rd and 3, everybody. I am your host, Stingray, and a lot of things, like I said off the top, have gone on. So real quick, let me just go on ahead and say that we will get to this, but Coach O was let go earlier this week by LSU. He will continue to coach through the rest of the year. However, he will not return to Baton Rouge in 2022. Let's go on ahead and start now with my co-host over there, Clemson Tom. And Clemson barely survived the Carrier Dome. How are you doing tonight, Tom?
I'll take a win whenever you can get it. It's a tough conference. It's a road win and a very tough conference with a very tough team, well coached. You know, they got one of the best running games in Division I. So, you know, iron sharpens iron, as they say. So, you know, whatever we can get when we're on the road, I'll take a W. So I'll take it.
Who is that over there on the other side over there? Oh, Alabama won, so it must be Joey. You know, he doesn't show up when Alabama gets that big L, but whenever they win, he shows back up to talk some shit. Ladies and gentlemen, Joey, what's going on, my man?
First of all, I just want to tell everybody I want to say thank you to Stingray and Clemson Tom for the phone calls and text messages asking me to get better and telling me that, you know, their thoughts and prayers were y'all was thinking of me. Wait a minute. Y'all never called or text me.
I told you not to eat the brisket in College Station. I told you that.
You know, here's the problem with it. You know, I'm throwing up. I got stuff coming out of my butt while I'm throwing up. And while this is happening, I turn it on YouTube. I watch the CTS interview room, and you and Clemson Thomas sitting there talking trash about me. First off, I'm not upset that Texas A&M beat Alabama. Newsflash: Alabama's been beaten before. And guess what? What happens? They go on to win the national championship. That's the Alabama way. Second, when I'm sick, y'all can at least call and say, hey, Joe, you don't have to tell everybody my in real life. Everybody that knows me knows that. They don't need to tell the rest of the world that. The second thing, y'all don't need to talk trash. And then you bring one more Sanchez from the main event on the CTS interview room. You bring him on to talk some trash. He acts like I'm not going to pay my bet. I paid my bet. I always pay my bet. So all that bullshit, you know what? I tell you what, just go to Jacqueline. Just go to Jacqueline.
I will be the first to apologize. What if I take you to dinner? I'll treat you to dinner or like Uber Eats or something. I feel bad. I feel bad.
For real?
Yeah. You want me to?
Hey, just make sure it's not brisket again.
No. I'll be for real with you. I'll Uber Eat you. Text me your address. I'll order you a Wham-burger and some French fries. And I'll even buy you a 6-pack of wine because that's what you sound
like.
Go
to Jacqueline. Go to Jacqueline.
And I'm back with the men of 3rd and 3. Although really it's Stingray and two little boys who like to bicker, I'm Jacqueline, your weekly dose of desert honey back in sunny Arizona, and let's get started. You don't need binoculars to see the problems coming out of the SEC conference this week. First things first, Ole Miss versus Tennessee. According to the University of Tennessee Police Department, 18 arrests and 47 ejections resulted from a disappointing call at the end of Saturday's match between the SEC Titans and Ole Miss. After Tennessee's 4th down attempt was reviewed to be a yard short, fans threw golf balls, beverages, and even mustard onto Neyland Stadium field, causing a 20-minute delay. You know it's bad because who can afford to throw a drink at this point? Most of the items were tossed from the student section, but that's Tennessee football for you. In all fairness, though, these folks are allowed to be upset. Their program has been in the dumps for years, and their former head coach, Lane Kiffin, got up and left after 1 season to go try the limelight in sunny Southern California, only to return with his arrogant attitude. Kind of like Tom Cruise after he blows up on a movie set. Speaking of Lane Kiffin, everyone has heard the news by now that Coach O is resigning from his head coaching job at LSU. Rumor has it, Kiffin may once again jump ship for LSU. Sporting Bets AG gives Kiffin best odds to replace Oregon, and the Daily Advertiser of Lafayette, Louisiana, lists Kiffin as one of the top candidates for the job. This will be interesting because this Saturday, LSU will go against Kiffin's Ole Miss. Is anyone else getting whiplash about how fast this guy switches teams? And I kind of feel like there's a joke in there that would get me canceled, but we're going to go ahead and skip that because I like you guys. On to this weekend's games. Clemson will take on number 23 Pittsburgh. That's weird to say. Clemson's not even ranked. You guys should talk to Clemson Tom about that. And the Crimson Tide of Alabama are going to whomp those trash-throwing Tennessee Vols. Basically another easy win against an unranked team. Hang on. This just in. I owe Joey an apology. I'm sorry. Hold it. I feel like I need to take that back. Anyway, fellas, Stingray, see you next week.
I need to do something, though.
What? Fix your internet?
It's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun, so just let me go with it. Well, that was the very lovely and talented Jacqueline. We really want to thank her. And guys, I do want to say something because I got a very, very stern email and a very stern phone call from the CTS Board of Directors. And I would like to apologize to Joey and to Clemson Tom and say right now that I will no longer instigate a fight, a cage match, or a kicking of the ass between you and Joey because that is not a good look. So if I have offended either you or Clemson Tom, I apologize, but I will no longer be instigating a fight between either one of you.
We
should instigate some Wi-Fi strength at your house, though.
You just saved Clemson Tom's life.
That's a cage match right there. I'll fight your internet provider right now.
My point is, as that dude from the Breakfast Club said, you need to put some respect on my name.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
His name is Birdman. Show some respect.
I don't listen to that crap.
I know you don't listen to that crap. Bling bling, shawty.
I stopped listening to rap and No Limit Records.
That's old school Cash Money, man. That's like hip hop classics.
Didn't he kiss Lil Wayne? Talking about he was his son.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, I love my dad, but I don't kiss my dad on his lips.
Hey man, it's 2021. I don't judge. Neither should you.
Anyway,
right.
What are we talking about?
God can judge me. Rest in peace, Tupac.
All right, guys. As you probably noticed by now, I've got the LSU shirt on, and I'm actually representing the national championship of 2019, which arguably will go down as the best college football team in history. Earlier this week, Coach O, even though he knocked off Dan Mullen in Florida this past Saturday, he was let go by LSU. He will continue to coach for the rest of the season, but will not return in 2022. Guys, what are your thoughts about what's going on down on the Bayou, and how shocked are you guys that Coach O is out at LSU?
I'm shocked. I can tell you that right now. I mean, how are you going to get fired on your day off, especially after a win? Then when they lost to Kentucky, they're like, "Oh, Coach O's job's on the line." I don't know what they really expected from LSU. I don't like that's the whole thing. Like, I get that you're going to fire a coach when they get or your team's doing bad. I mean, last year was kind of you almost have to forgive him for last year because you lost literally everybody.
Yes,
it's almost a wash at that point. But this year, I mean, he's not doing horrible, but he's not doing great.
Right.
He's still trying to build back from before. I mean, I can understand if you had this type of season 2 years after this, but I don't. In this kind of society, if you need like success now, and if you don't have the success now, we got to find who can bring me the success now. But the thing of it is everybody wants to be Alabama. Sorry, Joey, it's the facts. You guys are the pinnacle of college football right now.
I agree.
And if you can't be like Alabama, then they're like, we got to find someone who's going to be like Alabama. Why do you think all the assistants of Nick Saban get jobs elsewhere? Because, they must know the secret. What's the secret recipe to Alabama? Well, the secret recipe is the Chevy dealership, but that's whatever. And he also schemes really well, and he runs a good – honestly, he runs a tight ship. We all cheat. Every Division I school cheats now. I mean, it just is what it is. I'm just going to make fun of Alabama because I can. But at the end of the day, it's all what they've built. And Saban didn't do it in year one. It took some time. It's like how Dabo was at Clemson. And we had some really bad years. I mean, there was a while he was rumored to go to Florida. I was like, take him. He ain't done much. I mean, looking back, hindsight 2020, that would have been the worst thing for us to do. But you've got to let a coach build. You've got to let him get – I mean, how long has he been there? 3 seasons, 4 seasons?
Yes. Yeah.
So not even one full recruiting – classes come through.
Yes.
You've got to let them build. You've got to let them get their guys in there. You've got to let them build, the type of program they want. That was a good thing that Clemson did. They stuck with Dabo, and they're like, we're going to let you do your thing. Mm-hmm. And he was there for a long time before we finally started seeing some success. But I hate it for Coach O. He'll bounce back. He'll go do something somewhere.
Yes.
I'm going to miss his interviews, that's for sure.
Well, and let me just say this. Add him to the list of coaches that, because they're not Nick Saban, got fired. I'll give you them right now. Mark Richt, Georgia. Let's see. All right, hold on.
Yeah, stop right there, Stingray. Mark Richt had 20 years at Georgia. I mean, how much time did you want to win a national championship?
All right, guys, as you saw with Jacqueline earlier, she talked about the issue up there at Tennessee this past weekend when they hosted Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. Guys, your thoughts about Lane Kiffin's return to Knoxville? That was not a pretty one by any stretch of the imagination.
You was on the phone with me earlier today, and you said something to me. It kind of struck me. You said to me that this affects the SEC. This doesn't affect the SEC. This doesn't affect NCAA football. This doesn't affect Clemson, Mississippi State, Alabama, Washington State. It doesn't affect no one but Tennessee. Tennessee acted like a bunch of buttholes, bottom line. And that's why they get treated like a bunch of buttholes, because that's why nobody respects Tennessee. Nobody respects Tennessee fans. They're just like Auburn fans. All they do is talk a lot and don't show nothing on the football field. Bottom line is this. What they did was disgraceful. And it was downright disgusting. And no, Stingray, it didn't put a black eye on college football. It put a black eye on the university. As I see it, the whole state of Tennessee should be ashamed of themselves. Now, I understand what Lane Kiffin did to y'all. It was scandalous. Nobody likes Lane Kiffin. Hell, when he was offensive coordinator for Alabama, I didn't like him. I don't like him as a person, and I don't like him as a coach. Bottom line is, I understand why you could be mad at him. But let's face it, you wasn't winning with Lane Kiffin. You're not winning now. So why are you mad? Just stop being disgraceful. Stop acting like an idiot. You represent the South. Well, you don't represent the South, but you represent a portion of the South. And people on TV, people who watching TV, watch y'all. And you acted disgraceful. Don't do that again. Ladies and gentlemen, when you talk about being a beast on the football field, there was no one better than Tarrant Lynch. ladies and gentlemen, this man was the fullback for the 92 national championship team. And not only that, he's probably one of the best fullbacks that ever came out of Alabama. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the one and only Terrence Lynch. Terrence, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Good to be here. Good to be here.
Now, I got some questions for you. I mean, we talked before. We talked about 3 months ago. We had a little technical difficulties. If you go back and watch the video, you saw for the first 20 minutes, all you saw was my face.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people turned off the first 20 minutes and then fast forward. So they missed a lot. So let's start with the recruitment process. I know you had a lot of people looking for you, and I know you was an Auburn fan. But what was it about Alabama that intrigued you?
Well, it was the camaraderie. We had, all the players and went down there. It was just like a big family. Everybody was close. Everybody had each other's back. Felt like it was like home. And plus, I had relatives and guys down there from my old back home in Town Creek. Had guys down there that was on the football team. So pretty much felt like home when I went down there.
Right. So, everybody every time we do a show and we talk to the legends from Alabama, they always why don't you talk more about this particular thing that happened? So let's go back to the national championship game. It was Alabama versus Miami. Miami was talking that trash. It's like John Copeland said to me, they had to see the film. Mm-hmm. They know what they was going up against.
Yeah.
What was your vibe? What was the vibe that you felt in the locker room before the game?
It was amazing. It was like everybody was walking around, pretty much like a zombie, just trying to get their mind right. I mean, like you was talking earlier, didn't anyone think that, we could beat them? And definitely they thought that we couldn't beat them, because even if they came up against other teams that was undefeated when they played them, and when they played them, just because they were Miami, and the other team got intimidated, but we wasn't intimidated at all. That whole week, defense and offense was getting mentally ready and physically ready, and we went out there and did what we had to do.
Also, your team is the first team that ever played an SEC championship game against Florida, and of course, we know what happened there. You dominated Florida. What was the vibe in the locker room? What was it? What was the players' expectation? We never had an SEC championship game before.
Well, we knew what we had, down there at the time. We had, Curry, Copeland, Langham, Lassick, Jay Barker, and all those guys. We knew we was, top tier team. We don't think, anyone could beat us. We played every game. We wasn't looking forward ahead to the next game or anything. We're just going week to week, getting prepared for that team every week. And we did that the whole year. Like I said, we never did look forward to the next week or anything like that. We did what we had to do every week, week in and week out.
Did y'all think it was unfair that, y'all just had an added game to the schedule?
I don't think so. During that time right there, we just run the play. We don't care who it was, or what, but we just wanted to play.
Before I turn it over to Clemson Tom, because I know Clemson Tom's got a bunch of barbecue questions, because he is our barbecue connoisseur. I want you to repeat the story. I asked you last time you was on the CTS about Gene Stallins and what type of guy he was and everything, and you told us a story about being late to you missed the plane and he was staring at you from and the whole lunchroom was like in suspense of what was going to happen. Can you take us back to that moment? Tell us exactly what happened, just for the people at home that didn't hear it. Can you go back to 1992 and tell people what happened?
Well, it was the Tennessee game, and we left that morning. We were supposed to be leaving I thought, at 11:30, but ended up leaving at 11 o'clock. And I guess, to the dorm, and that's where we meet up and get on the bus, go to the airport. I get there at 11:30. I don't see anybody. I said, oh, what didn't happen? Get a calling around, and they said, well, we left at 11. So I jumped in my vehicle and I head to the airport. By the time I get to the airport, plane taking off. So I ended up having to fly in that night with the coaches that had been out on recruiting. So I got there that night by 10:30, 11 o'clock. I missed practice and everything, walkthroughs and everything, meetings. So we had to get up that morning for breakfast. And I got up, went down there, and, you can feel when somebody's watching you. I just didn't look over there or anything. But I said, well, I might as well go ahead and face the music. So I got up, went over there and sat down. And when I say he ripped me a good one, he ripped me a good one. I mean, he made me feel like I was the size of an ant. But, that was Coach Stallins. I mean, he would do anything, to try to push you to make you to better yourself. And, that was my fault for, misunderstanding the time and everything. But Coach Stallins was a fair guy. He, like I said, he got in my butt and everything. But after he chewed me out and everything and, told me for the best for me, I went out there and probably had one of the best games I ever had when I was down in Alabama.
You're a better man than me, because usually when I get in trouble, I'm not gonna go just give myself up like a sacrifice. That's why I'm not allowed to go to Clemson Tom's house. Like, I'm just not gonna just give myself up and take a whooping. I'm gonna you're gonna have to come to me and come get it. But with that said, this is the week of the Tennessee game.
Mm-hmm.
What's your prediction? Do you predict domination or do you predict a close game? What do you think?
I think it's gonna be a close game starting off, because it's Tennessee Alabama game, and no matter what Tennessee's record is, they're always gonna start off the game playing as hard. But I think eventually Alabama's gonna wear them down, especially if they play like they did last week. Tennessee's a good team, but Alabama's a better team. Like I said, it's gonna start off close, but Alabama's gonna pull away from them in the end.
Mr. Lynch, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's a pleasure to finally speak to you. I've heard a lot about you. From the fullback's perspective, I mean, did you like to get the handoff to get the short yardage, or did you like to pick up a blitz and just put somebody on the behind when they're trying to come through? Because from a fan's perspective, when I see that, you just get blown up as you're trying to get to the quarterback.
It was always,
you just feel good.
It was always a good feeling for me to get almost like a pancake block on a linebacker or a defensive back. I mean, that made me feel good, because I contributed to making, the running back and quarterback look good. I'm a team player. I do anything I can, to help the team out. But as far as, me running the ball and everything, but I would rather, do the blocking and stuff.
I was kind of like that. I always like contact when I played.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I wanted to hit the big block or the big tackle. I didn't really care about the touchdowns, stuff like that. I mean, I am the barbecue connoisseur of the CTS. I've traveled all over the South and tried different barbecues. Now, where you live at now?
What do I live in?
Yes, sir.
I live in Decatur.
Okay. So in the whole Decatur area, what's the best barbecue there?
Hands down, had to be my homeboy Fred Scruggs. At Scruggs Barbecue, he's totally got the best I've tasted. And after that, it had to be Nash, Bob Gibson, of course. Like I said, Fred Scruggs, he has the best to me.
I got you. Now, when you were when you played for Alabama, I'm assuming Dreamland was kind of the go-to spot when you guys were there.
Oh, always, definitely. That was always a spot to go to. I mean, even if you were dead broke, you would scrape up pennies, nickels, dimes, you find, and make sure you end up there.
I have a funny story about Dreamland. I was coming down with the flu, and I was in Birmingham, and the buddy I was with, we were calling on the UAB hospital system, and we got to try Dreamland. And I'm over here. I'm not feeling good. It took everything just to go and do a presentation. So I sit down, and the waitress was like, "Baby, you feeling okay?" I was like, "Nah, I think I'm coming down with something." She goes, "Don't worry about it." She sits down a tub of the hot sauce, gives me some bread. She goes, "Baby, here's a water. You just dip this bread into the hot sauce. You're going to sweat out. You're going to feel good." I swear to you. About 30 minutes of eating the bread with the hot sauce, and my pores start breaking out, start feeling good. Then I got the ribs. And so Dreamland cured the flu or whatever it was I was coming out. But she was right. I sat near the grill where they're cooking all the ribs. I sweated everything out, drank all the water, and still to this day, some of the best ribs
It is.
I definitely have ever had. Now, when you were at Alabama, did you play with Dabo?
Wait, hold on. Cleveland. I mean, not Cleveland. Clemson. You know, I've been to Tuscaloosa like 7-8 times in my whole life. You know, I've never ate at Dreamland.
Well, we gotta go.
I've never ate there. Go ahead.
With the hot sauce, the bread, and the ribs. I mean,
I usually every time I had a case there, I just at the Quality Inn I stayed at had a Hooters. I usually just went to the Hooters. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, you probably you gotta stay away from Hooters, man. That's bad. It's evil.
Yeah, you asked me about Dabo. I played when I was a freshman. I think I played a couple years with Dabo. He was older than I was, and Dabo was a great guy, real friendly guy, hard, dedicated, one of the most talented players on the team. He always gave his all.
I got you. Now, do you think he's ever going to leave Clemson to go back to Bama once Saban up and goes?
I don't think this is going to happen.
I have so much money riding on that he doesn't go.
We got
$100 here, $100 there. If he does go, I'm out probably $1,200.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to happen. No.
Now, do you think Alabama is going to – I would assume they're going to go play in Atlanta against Georgia. Now, if the rematch happens, that's going to go down as one of the – no, it's not going to be a rematch. Sorry. If that happens, that's going to go down as one of the most watched games ever just because what the implications are if Bama loses. They'll be at the Capital One Bowl. If Georgia finally does pull it off, they're going to go on to the playoffs undefeated, consensus number one. Now, if that does happen, can Alabama knock off Georgia?
Yeah, they can knock them off. They got to be on top of the game. I mean, you can't have any letdowns or anything. You can't have what happened against Texas A&M happen against Georgia, because if that happens, then it's going to be an embarrassment. But if we come and we do what we're supposed to do, get to the quarterback, running back, run the ball, quarterback do what he's supposed to do, then it's going to be like it's been the last couple times played Georgia. We'll come out on top.
You always seem to have Georgia's number, especially when I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, finally, Georgia's going to win a national championship, and some kid from Hawaii steps in. They have no idea who this kid is. I'm like, why are we changing quarterbacks? Lights it up. Now he's playing for my Dolphins. And now you love the guy. It's crazy. Saban's definitely has something special.
Yes, he is.
On there. Now, with that being said, I'm assuming you're going to pick Alabama to win the national championship this year.
Always. I mean,
let's take Alabama out of it.
Take Alabama out of it, okay?
In your opinion, who do you think is going to win it all?
Taking Alabama out of it, Georgia.
Or give me the top four in the playoff. That's probably a little bit fair for you.
Top four in the playoff, I'd say Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma. I would say Cincinnati, but I don't think they're – I think they're one of those teams like Iowa was. Till they come up to somebody that's close to them that could beat. But that fourth team right now, I know. Really can't say who the fourth team is right now.
That seems to be everyone's consensus. That's usually my go-to question. No one can hit the number 4 on the head. I'm hoping in Cincinnati just so it's something different, so you can kind of cheer for the little guy.
Yeah.
But that fourth one, man, it's November. That's all I gotta say.
You're right.
Those games in November are make or baker.
You got that right.
Joey, that's all I got, Bo.
All right.
So you had something else we'll touch on?
2 more questions, and Terrence, and we'll let you go because I know you're a busy man. We know it's been out there, all of the news. You were an Auburn fan back in the day. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that little kid inside you comes back and want to cheer for the devil?
I mean, I cheer for him. I mean, I don't have anything against Auburn. I cheer for him until he play Alabama.
I see. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the type that hate this team and hate that team and all that. I hope I wish the best for Auburn, like I said, until they play Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, I wish the best for Auburn too. Just not every day.
Actually, I got a really good question for you. I've never asked this to any Alabama fan or player. Hands down, who is the best running back Alabama's ever had?
Kevin Turner.
Best running back? I would say probably the best running back.
Child, kids. What do you say?
I would have to say before he tore his knee up, I would say Kerry Good.
Oh.
Kerry, coming from came from my high school, coming from a school like that, man, and what he did against Boston College and what he could have done, had he, tore his knee up and all that stuff, man. Kerry could have been one of the best down there at Alabama. But, other than Kerry, I would think, Sherman, he was a great one. There's several that came through.
Didn't you play with Chris Anderson?
Yes, Chris Anderson was a good one. I mean, you really can't, say who's the best, out of the bunch, that, especially with all the guys came through there. Because you got Derrick Henry, look what he did. And anyway, you got all those guys. So you really got to put all of them right up on the same level as each other.
Yeah, have you ever seen Chris Anderson? Clemson Tom, have you ever seen Chris Anderson? It's been a while. I'm talking about this is 30 years ago. So that him and Tarrant was like they bust that gap real hard. They were.
I remember the name though. So I
number 30, number 33. Am I correct?
Yeah, Chris. He started his freshman year when Saran Stacy and Derek Lassie got hurt. He started, and Chris he did his thing as a freshman. He had a couple of ankle injuries and everything that hampered him, but Chris he was a hoss.
Best wide receiver of all time, Dabo Swinney, right?
Come on, Joey.
Dabo was pretty good, but I wouldn't say he was the best.
Well,
I wouldn't say he was the best.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the best fullback to ever play at the University of Alabama is Mr. Lynch. And there's no debate. It's not an opinion. I only state the facts. Ladies and gentlemen, 1992 national champion, the one and only Terrence Lynch. And you know him from Twitter. He's got 4 billion Twitter followers. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Josh Clacker. Josh, how you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing okay. Stingray, say hello to your good friend Clacker.
Yeah, man, he's a good friend of mine. And go on ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself, man.
So yeah, I'm Clack. Most of you know me from Twitter. Been a Bama fan all my life. Been season ticket holder in most all sports for the last 4 or 5 years. There's not a game day in pretty much any sport that's in Tuscaloosa that goes by that I'm not there supporting the teams. It's my favorite part of my life is being a Bama fan and being there at everything, and don't know what I'd do without it. It's an amazing journey to go on, and it can be a little frustrating, can be a little heartbreaking at times, but Alabama sports are one of my biggest things, and so yeah.
Now I understand that you're not going to just follow Alabama football,
right?
You're going to be doing SEC baseball, SEC basketball. You basically going to cover all Alabama sports. I mean, you're going to even do hockey?
I can learn. I can try it. I'm a Bama basketball season ticket holder, baseball season ticket holder. I'm there. Go to a lot of away games too, or at least try to. Pre-COVID, and so yeah, I'm. As much as I'm loving football season, I'm looking forward to some basketball and baseball and all of that.
All right. Well, Stingray, give the man one more question, and I got one more question for him, and then we got to head out back to Clemson. Okay. Tom.
All right. Well, Clack, real quick, you say that you're an Alabama football fan. Out of all of the games that you have been to in person, which one is the most exciting that you've ever been to?
I want to say the national championship versus Georgia is kind of the automatic answer, but that was exciting, but that was also nerve-wracking for me. Man, that's a very tough answer for me, yes. Honestly. Man, most exciting, I'm going to go to be a little bit different. I'm going to go this year's game against Ole Miss.
Right.
That was a great game. There had been a big deal about the playlist and stuff that is played at Bryant-Denny. New playlist. The crowd was just absolutely hyped and energetic, and was probably the best game we played all year. So I'm just going to be a little bit different, not use a championship. I'm going to say this year's game against Ole Miss.
And just out of the blue, just let me know what do we expect from you coming to the CTS?
Well, I'm someone that, first of all, I'm someone that's willing to learn how to do anything on the show and make the show better, and bring whatever I need.
Are you going to bring the fire? Are you going to bring the passion of Alabama sports?
Yes.
Are you going to go out there and tell Saban, get you on the CTS? This is what the CTS needs. This is what the CTS wants.
Definitely, most definitely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only. He's probably going to have the best show on the CTS. Like I said, he's the man. He's the man from Twitter, Josh Clacker. Josh, it was good to see you, man.
You too. Roll Tide.
Yes.
Roll Tide. Yeah, this is Josh Clacker. He's going to be doing the Alabama show.
What's up, Clack? What do you do?
Do what?
What kind of show are you going to do?
The Alabama show. All things Alabama.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do an Alabama show, can I recommend not wearing Atlanta?
All right, guys, it's that time of the week again for the pick segment. Let's go on ahead and get to our favorite games of the weekend that we're looking forward to.
I got it. Coastal Carolina, App State. Can Coastal stay undefeated? App State has always been a powerhouse in their own little league, obviously. That's the game I'm looking forward to. Love Coastal. They recruited me out of high school. Love App State. They didn't recruit me. Could have went there, but I didn't. But my heart's with Coastal Carolina because they gave a young Clemson Thomas shot until my dad found out they're out of Myrtle Beach and said, you're not going to college in Myrtle Beach. So, Chanticleers, let's keep it undefeated. Jamie Caldwell, let's get it, baby. Let's beat the Mountaineers, who got the best moonshine, in my opinion. Well,
besides Alabama and Tennessee, I like rivalry games. USC and Notre Dame. That's going to be a pretty decent game. You know what?
They've got some great ones that came down to the wire, man, like the Reggie Bush years. Rivalries.
I may take USC on this game.
Where's it at?
Notre Dame.
It's at Notre Dame.
Man, that's gonna be a tough one. Night game.
Yep.
I'm gonna roll with Notre Dame.
All right,
All right. Joey's going rivalry game. I'm going rivalry game. I'm going the Magnolia Bowl. Last year, this matchup was a barn burner. And Matt Corral threw, count them, 6 picks in that game. This year, the game is in Oxford this Saturday, 2:30, CBS. I'm going LSU gets another win and keeps it rolling for Coach O. In his last few games as a coach, they are on the Bayou. The Ole Miss defense is atrocious. Look for LSU to pound the ball, and they walk out of Oxford with the W. And I will leave you guys with this in my famous Coach O voice. Go Tigers!